Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Hello, friends. Sinikka Waugh here with Your Clear Next Step. Thank you so much for joining this edition of the Even Better podcast. This is part of our ongoing mission here at Your Clear Next Step to help us have even better workdays, right? So that together we can co-create better communities. And as I stop and I think about the idea of the solo podcast, the idea makes me just a little bit, I don't know, sometimes it's exciting and sometimes it's mind-boggling. Like why would I try and do this alone? Why would I share my thoughts when everyone else has so much to contribute? And then sometimes I'm like, well, but I have some thoughts too, and maybe a minute or two here or there from some of the things that I can share. Maybe there's something useful here. So I'll share a couple of nuggets. And I'm going back to that 100th episode. And if you haven't heard the 100th episode, I shared some nuggets from the first 15 years of running the business. And just yesterday, as I record this, yesterday was our 16th birthday. So for 16 years, Your Clear Next Step has been in business. So we've completed 15 full years, right? Today is we're beginning our 16th year in business. And so holy smokes, what have we done in this time? And as I recorded that episode of 15 full years in business, what have we learned? And looking back on all of that, one of the things that I started with is the truth that some people won't like you. And I remember the lessons along the way when I learned that some people won't like you. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in your tribe. Some people won't like you. I remember learning that. And I remember a colleague of mine along the way, Renee, had pointed out that, sometimes when you train, I think she used the analogy that sometimes when you train, there'll be someone in your class who'll just think that you remind them of their aunt, depending on who you are. And sorry, Dad, yes, your aunt, that they won't care for you because you remind them of their aunt and they never really cared for their aunt all that much. Or maybe they'll love you, not for what you say or who you are, but because you remind them of their aunt and they really loved their aunt. Okay, great. Sometimes people like you or they don't like you through absolutely no fault of your own. And there are those, and that's real, and you sort of have to just deal with that. And that's a thing. I'm going to set that aside for a moment because those are things that you can't control. And those are things over which we have absolutely no power, over which we have absolutely no control. And that to me feels a bit disempowering. It's real and it's important to know that. And it's important to deal with that and to process that and to expect that and at some point to acknowledge it and move on. But there's another kind, frankly, there's another kind of people in this world that won't like you and people that can come into our lives that we like and that like us and that don't like us or that we don't care for all that much. And there are things that we have control over. And I want to spend just a little bit of time on some of those. Because when we talk about the things over which we have power and the things over which we have control, it feels a little bit more like we have oomph, right? It's a little bit more like, oh, I can do something about that. And okay, sure, someone's going to unpack this and say, oh, look, we're hearing from a control freak. Well, you knew that already. So let's just deal with that like we will. But I want to talk about the idea that some of us out here are people pleasers and we want to be liked by everybody. And we got to nip that in the bud because we're not going to be liked by everybody. It's not possible. We cannot be liked by everyone. It is not possible to please everyone. It doesn't matter what role we're in. It doesn't matter what we're doing. We will not please everyone. And I'm not even talking about the folks that think we remind them of someone. Those ones that for some weird or obscure reason that we have no control over because of the color of our hair or the tone of our voice or the inflection that we use or the way we gesticulate, we remind them of someone and we have no power over that. I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about the way we use our lives and the way we use our positional power or our personal power. There are people that aren't going to choose not to care for us, and there are people that are going to not like us anyway. And we will not please everyone. And that's okay too. That's okay too, my friends. Do you hear me? That's okay too. Not everyone is meant to be in your tribe. Not everyone is meant to be in the inner circle. Not everyone is meant to be a consumer of your time and your energy and your space and the joy that makes you you. And that's okay. So I've been teaching a lot lately on personal power and positional power. So let's unpack those just a little bit. Positional power is about the job you've been assigned to do. So you have a position, you have a title, you are a project manager, you are a business analyst, you are a secretary, you are a security guard, you are a teacher, you are a business owner, you are a parent. You have a position, you have a title, you have a space to hold, and there is an expectation that you will do certain things because of that title. There's an expectation that you will deliver this project to successful completion. There's an expectation that you will hear what your stakeholders need and you will understand and interpret those requirements and help the solution providers provide the solution that meets those requirements. There is an expectation that you will keep people safe as that security guard. There's an expectation that you will educate students and help provide that education to them. There's an expectation that you will provide parenting and nurture and shelter and care to those children. There is an expectation, right? That you will provide a service or goods to customers and that you will provide a place of employment as a business owner. There's an expectation, right? There's positional power granted to you in an expectation of an exchange of things that you will do, services that you will provide in exchange for that position. So that's positional power. There's also a thing called personal power, and personal power is what you do with that. It's how likable you are. It's how you show up, how you choose to be kind, how you choose to interact with other people, how you choose to use your integrity, how you choose to do the things that you say you will do, how you choose to repeat stories that are yours to repeat or not repeat stories that are not yours to repeat, how you choose to be gentle when you need to be gentle, how you choose to be merciful when you need to be merciful, how you choose to be firm when you need to be firm, how you choose to be hopeful when you need to be hopeful, how you choose to be optimistic when you need to be optimistic, how you choose to show your hurt when you are hurt, how you choose to apologize when you need to apologize, how you choose to cheer others on when others need to be cheered on, right? It's your personal power. That's how you show up. So when you use your personal power, some people will not like how you choose to do that. And that's okay. When you have made a conscious choice to use a personal power that is authentic to you and that is, I think, genuinely making the world a better place, if others don't get that and they don't want that and they don't want to be around that, then let them go. Let them go. When we think about the people who are in your tribe and want to be in your tribe, what does that mean? Your friend group. You've heard this analogy before, right? You've heard the analogy, and it's pretty well researched at this point. Google it if you want to. We become an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if you want to call that your tribe, the 5 people we spend the most time with, we become an average of those people. So choose your tribe carefully. Not everybody is meant to be in your tribe. Choose that tribe carefully. That's the tribe of friends that you want to be like. That's the tribe that you want to emulate. That's the tribe that this is how you want to use your personal power. This is where you want to show up and be likable and merciful and hopeful and kind and gentle and authentic and hurt when you're hurt or hurting when you're hurting and apologetic when you're and accountable when you need to be accountable and responsible when you need to be responsible and cheerful when you need to be cheerful and energizing when you need to be energizing, right? This is your tribe. Okay, so let's take that out of your friend group. Let's go to work. So you're choosing the place where you want to be employed. Maybe you're looking for a job for the first time, or maybe you're looking for your next job and you're choosing the place where you want to be employed. You're finding that tribe that says, this is where I want to work. Look for a place that will like you for your authentic you. When you go to interview, look for people who like you for you The positional power, that's the job you're showing up to do. But the personal power, those are the ones who are going to like you for you, show you. And the ones that don't like you, let them go. Man, let them go. If you're like, oh, I didn't feel it in that interview, that's not a tribe I want to be with, then let them go. If they're not meant to like you, then they're not meant to be your tribe right now. All right, so when you're leading and you're trying to find that space that you're leading, that place where you can lead authentically and you can create space for others to be their best versions of themselves, right? That's my joy as a leader, is to create that space where someone can be their best version of themselves. Then find that team. Find that team where you can lead authentically and you can genuinely connect. And as you're leading that team, that's how you know your tribe, right? When you find those people, when you find that team that like you and that you genuinely can show up and serve them with that authentic sense of servant leadership, that's your tribe, man. And we're all contributing well to being our best selves. Wow, that's a great tribe. If you're in business and you're trying to find your best customers, you know what? If those customers don't like you, again, I think it's Steve Farber who says, I do what I love in the service of those who love what I do. If your customers, if it's a potential customer and they're like, meh, I don't really like it, then they're not your tribe. They're not your customers. Stop pursuing them. Let them go. Let them go and go find those customers who love what you do. It will make the sale so much easier, so much more joy filled. If you're finding a team of vendor partners and it doesn't feel right because they're not your tribe, they don't get you, they don't serve the way you don't serve, they don't show up the way you show up, they don't understand the same value structure that you have, let them go. Let them go. And I'm not saying that your value structure is my value structure. I'm using my words because they're my words. Find the ones who like you for you. And if they don't, let them go. Let them go. Not everyone likes you, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in your tribe. Your tribe loves you, and they love you when you're authentically you. That's what we're looking for here. And some people won't like you. And I think what happens when we try and force employment in a place where it just doesn't fit, it doesn't work, we're not thriving, and we're not allowing ourselves to be our best selves, we're hiding behind something that's not authentically us, we're going to create workspaces that are miserable. It's going to create inauthenticity, and we're going to be something less than our best selves. That's not our tribe. We should be spending, and I'm not saying we should avoid people that aren't like us. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't hear that. I'm not saying avoid people that are not like you. I'm not saying only surround yourself with people who are just like you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you're creating your inner circle, when you're creating your inner tribe, when you're finding your tribe, the place where you spend the most of your time, your tribe, the people who lift you up, the people who encourage you, the people with whom you spend the majority of your time. Find your tribe, the tribe to pick you up, the tribe to encourage you, the tribe to help you sharpen your skills, the tribe to help you sharpen your saw, the tribe to challenge you in your thinking sometimes and say, hey, I'm worried you're going down the wrong path here. And to really encourage you in your thinking, even when you're doing dumb stuff. You will hear that better from a tribe who loves you and who cares about you than from someone that you're looking at and you're going, but you don't even like me. You don't even like me. We don't have to agree with each other to value each other. So I'm not saying that we all think the same, and I'm not saying that we all look the same. That's not what I'm saying. But people, the ones who are meant to be in our tribe, they love you for who you are and how you show up. Man, find your tribe. And if they don't value you when you show up as authentically you, it's okay to not have them in your tribe. It's okay to keep your tribe fairly small. For the ones who sharpen you now, broaden your perspective for challenge thinking, for perspective, for insights, for curiosity, to learn, to grow. And as you are spending the majority of your time to be encouraged and for your daily workday and for the place where you're employed and for your, acknowledge that some people won't like you. Some people won't like you. Some people won't like you, and that's okay. Let them go. Don't dwell on the fact that that person didn't like you. You don't have to spend all day every day with the people that don't like you. That's going to bring us down. Spend all day every day with the people who like you and who will build you up and who will encourage you. And then when they say, hey, Sinikka, you're doing dumb stuff today. Today is not your best day. You can hear that from people who genuinely love you and who are trying to build you up and encourage you and challenge you to get you better rather than from trying to tear you down. So those are some thoughts. I hope it's useful for you. I wish you the very best of days. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Even Better podcast. And on behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, I hope the rest of your day is even better.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step and the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? If you said yes to those things, then we have the solution for you. You'll get 8 full-day virtual sessions over 10 months, plus 6 hours of one-on-one coaching, 8 hours of intentional networking, and 8 hours of personal reflection. The growth that we've seen is absolutely unparalleled. Our participants of prior cohorts have remarked about how phenomenal their results have been.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.